The Galactic Military Academy's training ground stretched across the crystalline plains of Vexor Prime, where cadets from 100 worlds gathered to prove their worth. Today's exercise was simple in theory. Carry a standard combat pack, weighing approximately 50 kilograms, across a 2-kilometer obstacle course. For most species, it was a test of endurance and determination. Odette watched from the sidelines as the latest group struggled through the course. A Thraxian cadet, his forearms trembling with effort, dragged his pack through the mud. Beside him, a Kelvorian used her telekinetic abilities to ease the burden. Though sweat beaded across her translucent skin, the instructors moved between them, barking encouragement in a dozen languages. "They're really struggling today," Remy said, appearing beside her with 2 cups of what passed for coffee in this sector of space. Odette accepted the cup gratefully. "The gravity here is 0.89 Earth standard. Should be easier for them, but the humidity is brutal." She glanced at her fellow human, noting how relaxed he seemed in the oppressive heat that had most species gasping. "Commander Zeltrix wants to see us," Remy said, his easy smile fading. "Something about a demonstration." They found the commander in the equipment hangar, his reptilian features creased with what Odette had learned to recognize as frustration. Around him, a dozen senior instructors from various species muttered among themselves. "Ah, the humans," Commander Zeltrix said, his translator rendering his hissing speech into standard. "We have a situation." He gestured to a massive crate in the center of the hangar. "Next week's advanced training requires moving equipment to the mountain facility. Each crate contains field generators, weapon systems, and survival gear. Standard military issue." "What's the problem, sir?" Odette asked. "The problem," interjected Instructor Vash, a mantis-like sectoid, "is that these crates weigh 140 kilograms each. Our power loaders are undergoing maintenance, and we've calculated that it would require teams of 4 to 6 cadets to safely transport each crate. We have 200 crates and not enough personnel." Remy walked over to the nearest crate, studying its dimensions. "What's the time frame?" 3 days, Zeltrix said grimly. "At current projections, we'll need to delay the training exercise by 2 weeks. The Admiralty will not be pleased." Odette exchanged a glance with Remy. She could see the same thought forming in his mind.
"Sir, if I may?"
Without waiting for permission, Remy bent slightly, gripped the handles on either side of the crate, and lifted. The metal container rose smoothly from the floor as if it weighed no more than a briefcase. He held it at chest level with one hand, transferred it to the other, then set it down gently. The hangar fell silent. "By the void," whispered Vash, her compound eyes wide with shock. Commander Zeltrix's jaw hung open, revealing rows of pointed teeth. "How? That's not possible. Your species file indicates you're from a standard gravity world. Minimal physical augmentation. No genetic engineering for strength. Earth is actually 1.0 gravity." "Sir," Odette explained, stepping forward, "a bit higher than here, and humans evolved as endurance hunters. We're built for carrying, running, and physical labor over extended periods." She approached another crate, this one marked with hazardous materials warnings. Gripping it firmly, she lifted it overhead, holding it steady above her head with both hands. "Our bone density, muscle composition, and skeletal structure are optimized for life on a high-gravity world. What seems heavy to most species is manageable for us." Remy picked up his crate again, this time with one hand, and began walking in a circle. "We could probably move all 200 crates in a day, sir. Maybe less if you give us a few more humans and some hand trucks." The instructors erupted in agitated chatter. Odette caught fragments in various languages, disbelief, amazement, and more than a little fear. "Impossible," stated Instructor Krell, a hulking Braxian whose species prided itself on physical prowess. "I am from a 1.2 gravity world. I train daily. I could not lift that with one hand." "Different evolutionary pressures," Odette said diplomatically, setting her crate down. "Your species evolved for short bursts of power. Ambush predators, right? Humans evolved to chase prey across vast distances, to carry our kills back to camp, to build and move and never stop moving. We're not the strongest species pound for pound, but we have incredible endurance and weight-bearing capacity relative to our size." Commander Zeltrix recovered his composure, though his eyes still held wonder. "How many humans do we have currently stationed at the Academy?" 15, sir," Remy answered, "plus another 20 arriving next week for the instructor exchange program. And you can all do this?" Lift 140 kilograms with relative ease. Odette nodded. Most of us, yes, sir. That's only about 300 pounds. An average human can carry about 40% of their body weight comfortably. Many can lift much more for short periods. The commander's translator crackled as he spoke rapidly to his staff. Then he turned back to the humans, something like respect in his ancient eyes. I've studied human military history. Your species has stories of soldiers marching 30 kilometers carrying 30-kilogram packs, then fighting battles. I thought they were exaggerated for propaganda. No exaggeration, sir, Remy said quietly. That's actually light for a forced march. Zeltrix was quiet for a moment, then gestured at the crates. Very well. Humans will handle the equipment transport. I'm authorizing overtime compensation and assigning you additional personnel as needed. He paused. I'm also requesting a revision to the Academy's physical training protocols. If humans can do this naturally, perhaps we've been too soft on our cadets from lower gravity worlds. As the instructors dispersed, still muttering in amazement, Instructor Vash approached Odette. I must ask, are there other capabilities your species file fails to mention? The other academies should know, Odette smiled. Well, we can also regulate our body temperature, run for hours without stopping, heal from injuries that would cripple most species, survive on almost any organic matter, and we don't go into shock as easily as most beings. She paused. Oh, and we can throw objects with incredible accuracy at high velocity. Humans are basically persistence predators that learn to think. Vash's antennae quivered. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. But her voice held admiration. The galaxy is fortunate humans chose cooperation over conquest. Remy laughed, lifting another crate effortlessly. We figured we'd save our energy for the real threats out there. Besides, we make better friends than enemies. As they began organizing the transport operation, Odette reflected on the surprise that always met humanity among the stars. They weren't the smartest, the fastest, or the most technologically advanced, but they were enduring, adaptable, and strong in ways the galaxy was still discovering.